It's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. He is responsible for the compliance cockpit at EQS. That's the platform to manage all of your compliance needs. A very warm welcome to the Managing Director for Corporate Compliance, EQS Group, Kai Leisering. Welcome, Kai. Stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Tanya. It's a pleasure to be here again, and really wonderful event we are all sharing here. How to finally communicate company rules in an understandable and effective way. That's the question we have today. Did you know you only memorize 10% of what you read? This can be increased to up to 90% if you work with the information you read. Today, I would like to show you how this works. Every company and organization needs rules and regulations as guidelines for its members. But it all starts with some simple questions. May my wife accompany me on a business trip at my expense? A business friend has invited me for dinner. Now I would like to invite him to the bar. Is it possible? I'm on a business trip. May I extend the trip privately at company rates? They told me it's all in the policies. I just have to read it. But this is a lot to read.
Our commitment to integrity. Introduction. Our success as a company is built on a foundation of commitment by each of us to make decisions with the long-term value of the company in mind. This code of conduct sets the standards by which each of us commits to behave.
Ethical behavior begins as an individual responsibility. Behavior reflecting our values, high ethical standards, and compliance with applicable laws is expected by each of us, regardless of position or location. That is our commitment to operating with integrity. Rooted in our values. Other people.
First, we listen.
This cannot be a proper way today. We have developed the Rulebook as a new application where you could query all the questions you have, and you do this exactly at the time when you have the question. You don't have to read upfront lots and lots of paper, which you might understand, but you don't memorize it when you need it. So therefore, a state-of-the-art application would help you to answer all the questions you have exactly when you have those questions. It's much easier to understand, it can be better communicated, and it's there whenever you need it. The big advantage is that it uses a state-of-the-art app, and when you have a concrete question, you just enter the application, ask your question, or put your question into the prompt, and you will find answers. This is a big innovation, and we strongly believe in it, that it will be really useful for a lot of companies, for a lot of employees. Communicating company policies is static, and employees find it boring to read through all those large documents. And exactly when they have the question, of course, they don't have the policy at hand. So this is really a problem in each and every organization. Whenever there is a concrete question, you would need to read again and hope to find the applicable policy. Working with a modern application creates acceptance, and employees start their queries exactly when they have their questions. So this is much more modern, much more effective. People don't waste their time in reading all those papers, getting back to the questions when they have them. So it's much easier then to do this via an app. By this, it is possible to operationalize the questions and issues a company has. The employees learn from them, and of course, statistics help us to move through, to develop things further, and to learn from the questions of our employees. This is, of course, really helpful and a innovation in itself, since usually, if someone reads a policy, We don't know about the questions except if the person answers them. But how does it work? How would we create all those policies digitally, and how do we operationalize it? First of all, the policies have to be digitalized. This doesn't mean we create PDFs. Of course, this is available in a lot of companies. But PDFs, once again, are a blueprint from paper. So in principle, they don't help us. We therefore create use cases with complete interactive modeling of all the texts, and we create models, and this helps us to answer all the questions in the best possible way and to develop this further. By this way, we can step by step improve the policies within the organization, and we learn from the employees which questions they have and which they put into the rule book, so that we, step by step, can reiterate the rule book for better and better quality, which is, of course, very helpful. So it's not a one-time investment we do. It is a growing fund of information which we create within the organization. This, of course, helps us to turn the perspective completely. We go from the publisher's perspective to the employee's perspective. So whenever the employee has a question, we can answer it via the rulebook. We switch from prohibition to permission. So the employee has his question, asks it within the rulebook, and finds the answer, of course, formulated in a positive manner and in a positive way. And this helps to memorize much more as if you would just read the policies. We try to move from confusion to clear answers. We skip chapters. We just put in content and we help understand this content. We move from really abstract examples to specific and question-orientated content. With this, we have the chance really to improve the acceptance of the policies within the companies, and therefore people love to use the rulebook. This is what we hear and what we learn from our customers. Today we call this explorative learning. So people enter the application, choose the content they have questions about, and move through like you would move through the internet. This, of course, cannot be done with regular, boring policies, but with a modern application which you could use on your smartphone, on your tablet, on your PC. So it's available whenever you need it. This really helps to create a bigger acceptance within the audience, so that people talk about their usage of the rulebook, and we have a word of mouth within the company, so that more and more people are using the rulebook and explore how they can find the knowledge. By this, we create a lot of acceptance, which we, of course, can see in statistics. Another huge advantage are campaigns. So we can create campaigns on specific content within the rulebook. By this, we have a modern QR code. We can put deep links into the application, so that the content we have provided before gets pushed to all the employees which need this content. Therefore, we can pick specific topics like the Munich Oktoberfest, and whenever this content becomes relevant, we can push it out to the employees so that they read and understand what's relevant at that simple moment. Another great idea is so-called blended learning. So we can integrate those digital contents in classroom trainings. So whenever there's a face-to-face training with supervisors of the company involved, we could easily demonstrate how the rulebook works, and people notice this and can try it out directly. This once again creates acceptance, and people learn how to use it on the one hand and understand the advantage on the other hand. By those links within the blended learning, the trainings can can have concrete examples, and participants will remember it later. Remember, we want to move from 10% memorization to 90%. So therefore, we have to involve the people. We have to make the people understand how it works and to see their individual advantage. That they, of course, save a lot of time in not reading all those policies through, but whenever they have that question, they can put it into the app and will receive their answers. Microlearning campaigns are another example we have picked out. How does it work? So whenever someone would use the rulebook, would open up the application, we could push specific content into the application so that the person not only would search what he or she is looking for, but would be informed about an actual topic campaign, anything we would like to push out to a certain group of employees. So this is really helpful to make them read whenever they use the application what we would like to push out. With this, employees are using the rulebook and they are informed even on other topics than they have planned via the usage. It is all about integration these days. We are not looking for the next information island. We are looking for integrated content we have. So for example, if you're using a business app when doing any kind of travel plan or booking a hotel or something like that, you could integrate information buttons in those apps. So the rulebook can be fully integrated into your existing business applications, which, once again, helps to push the content exactly at those places where people would hope to find this content. Usually they are kind of lost. Is it possible that I do this? They would look up the policies, would not find what they are looking for, and then they would do it in the best possible way. But if we now include all the knowledge we have in the policies into simple snippets where people could learn where they exactly need the information, this is much more useful than just using boring and old school policies. We've been asking ourselves, what are people looking for? Recent market trends show us that 53% are looking and demanding easiness to use. And we really hope that this is possible with the rulebook, putting it on the one hand on smartphones, on tablets, in an application, so it's available wherever people would need it. So they would use their mobile anyhow. And if there's an app, a smart app, which helps, this is, of course, this shows high acceptance. On the other hand, 21% are looking for integration. So not using any other device, not needing to find it anywhere, but whenever they need the information, it should be there. It should be integrated. As I just did the example with a business app, with an information button, you could learn exactly what's relevant within this business process. And of course, 40% are looking for functionality, clear answers, not abstract examples. So all this is covered with a rulebook. And further, of course, there's a state-of-the-art dashboard so that you have all the information you would like to see, how many users are using it, are there any questions people would raise where we don't have answers in the rulebook. So all this helps to continuously improve the application and deliver a better and better experience for our users, which are looking up the information within the rulebook. This we become mirrored from our customers, which of course makes us really proud. In the end, it's all about communication. You can implement any product, but if you do not inform your people, your employees comprehensively, you will not be successful with this product. We are really proud of having customers like Audi, E.ON, Rewe, which extend their content within the rulebook really year by year and are absolutely happy to switch the perspective from pushing all the policies to each and every employee to the option for the employees to pull the information whenever they have their questions. So this is really useful and creates very good acceptance within the employees. Interesting, of course, to see the areas where people are doing their queries. Of course, internet usage due to the law, business trips, gifts and invitations are a topic we see really often, donations, data privacy, and lots of other stuff. But with this example, you could see you could learn month by month about all the details of the application, about the acceptance of the application. So you could improve your content month by month and year by year so that it really stays a lively application which gains high acceptance by our employees. Of course, with those buzzwords, we learn and learn further. And if there are new chapters within the rulebook, of course, it's interesting to see how are they used. Are there countries which use specific questions more than other countries? So all this really helps to improve the whole compliance setup and to guarantee an ongoing learning process within the compliance organization. Looking for feedback, we receive a lot of positive feedback. So 80% of the users are in regard of the application, regard this application as helpful, even very helpful. We summarize this in here. And based on this feedback, we really can continuously improve the usage of the application, can do further communication of the rulebook within the organization so that we learn how the application is used and what value it creates for our employees. So by using the rulebook, companies can make sure to communicate policies and rules in a modern and effective way on the one hand. Employees do not feel spammed by numerous documents overwhelming them day by day with irrelevant content, as they are looking for specific content in those situations where they have the questions, where they need the content. And if they would then have to read back in all the policies, of course, this is not really helpful. It was a pleasure to inform you about the rulebook, and I'm happy to have your questions together with Tanya.